Welcome to MoonCBook by MoonC.mobi. And the first time you open this app, a login will automatically be created for you, and you will be granted a number of accesses so you can really study the app. And normally, if you were an airline and a new user, you would only see the top line of buttons, which is the booking, checking, and assistance, and you wouldn't even see the help desk at the bottom because that is only for people that is granted staff member access. You can also create your own airline in this trial system, and you do that by pressing change login. You give instead of selecting one of the ones already selected with a company number and user number, you just create a new company name. New Airline 1 and give it a designator New A1 and give in your first and last name. My first and my last, and select the password, press create, and now all of a sudden you have a new airline. So obviously the first thing you need to do is create this schedule, and for that you need some virtual transport units, some destinations, some pairings, some pricing, and so on and so forth. To set up a MoonCBook, you first need to have a schedule. For a schedule, you need some, we'll wait a little bit, you need to do configure, so you could add some virtual transport units. As you can see here, there's a number of different virtual transport units added, and we have also the number of units of each that is available. Then you need a number of destinations, or at least 2. And let's say pick Dublin here, and you will see you need to put in the destination designator, what country it is, the average turnaround time at this destination, and the offset from GMT. You also need some pairings, and a pairing is a flight from one destination to another destination. And if I look at the top one there, you will see that you also have to set the travel time, average travel time it takes, and that's in this case 140 minutes. After you have created the pairings, you then need to price them. It's 30 for the first 20 seats, 60 for the second 20 seats, 100 for the next 20 seats, and so on and so forth, up to the top price of 250 for the rest of the seats that is above the previous limit. You can set up to 7 different prices, and obviously up to 6 different limits. The last one will just run until there is no more seats on that plane. In pricing, you can also do some adjustments. These are general adjustments for the whole airline, and here I have set on Sundays, increase the prices with 10%, on Mondays, standard, on Tuesday, lower them with 10%, Wednesdays, lower them with 10%, Thursdays, standard, Friday, increase with 10%, and Saturdays, standard. You can also put in price exceptions, where you can adjust the limit on in a certain period from date to date, and or on certain days. Now we have set up all the parameters we need for a schedule. And as you can see, the schedule, you can have more than one schedule version. This schedule version is the one that is operating at the moment for MoonC Air, and it basically gives the flights: first flight of the day, second flight of the day, third flight of the day, fourth flight of the day. And also, to put it on sale, you need to publish it, and you basically select it. You say from date to date you want to publish, and then you press publish now, and it will create, or you can set them to operate only certain days of the week. As you see here, this one operates on Sunday, Monday, not on Tuesday. It operates on Wednesday. You can see that on the hooks down there. You can also see here, I have these operating on all days of the week except Wednesday. And it also says how much time there is between the flights at the very end there. When you have created a schedule, the data needed for this to be on sale, and when you have published, it will suggest from date to date is you have to publish each leg individually. After you have done the schedule and published it, it's now been for sale for a couple of months, and you are now ready to fly it. First you have to crew it. That's in crewing, and you can see here equivalent to the schedule and how many is already crew is assigned to each plane. Is this one, for example, there is bottom left, you can see the crew that is assigned to that flight, and on the right you can see the crew that is available. If I pick one of the crew here in available, I can see their roster. As a crew controller, I can see each person's roster. As a crew, I can only see my own roster. And there is a few configs in this. Here you can assign crew by selecting the first house number or user number. And then here it's 2, and then press and hold 2, and it will search up all crews that is on starts with number 2. On the left, you will see everybody that's being given the access crew, but it hasn't been set up as a crew yet. On the right, you will see crew that has already been set up, all crew, and if I press one of them, you will see that, or select one of them, you will see that this one is a captain in crew type. Home base is Dub for Dublin, and the aircraft type is 4 for Embraer E195. You can do the description, your own descriptions of the crew types if you set up your own airline, and obviously the aircraft type comes from the schedule config. Crew home bases comes from the scheduled destinations, and you can mark home bases there as by selecting them as a base. And this also can allow you to auto roster, and I will go and see if I can find some date that is not auto rostered yet. You always need to auto roster forward. If you auto roster a previous day, it will just mess itself up, and you don't want that. Let's see, when this field of available crew is filled out, it will have updated the data to that date. The 11th of the 4th is already rostered, but if you go to the 12th, you see there's no crews assigned. They're all showing 0. I'll press auto roster. You might have to do it twice to get some data up. And also here there's a config button. Auto roster only work with one aircraft type, and you set some parameters here, which is the legal parameters, and you also select what kind of roster you want. Do you want 4 on, 2 off, or 5 on, 3 off, or whatever your airline are going to operate at? And the autorostering will take this into consideration. Now you just press roster now and you wait until it shows roster now again and it's finished. Then you press cancel and you check that all the flights has been assigned the correct amount of crew. We're going to look at ground operations. Ground operations is where you check in bags and board passengers. Let's pick a flight. Let's pick this one, 1625. It will now come with the passengers booked in. And let's say you are going to book in the bag of Armani Garcia. You adjust the bag to 1. And then you press load. And there it is, done. Now you can also check in whoever you want. And let's do the same one. Board. And now it's boarded, and you will see them there on the top. The bag will give you a sequence number. Bag 1 is booked, 1 is checked in, and first sequence number was 1, and second sequence number was, last sequence number was also 1. Let's do another one. 1 bag, load. And there you see this one had 1 bag booked, 1 bag checked in, and now got first sequence number 2, last sequence number 2. And if you have more than 1 bag, you will get the first and last sequence numbers. Now we'll check in another one, or rather board another one. That person is now boarded. On the day of operation, you can look at operations. Here you get all the flights that is today, and for each of the virtual planes, you obviously need to assign units. You do that here, but it's just for your own visual. It operates on virtual. And here you can see 2 lines of type number 3, which is the Boeing 787 in this case, and 5 lines of the plane type number 4, which is the Embraer 195. The green is completed and done. Red is no updates. They go yellow for a while and then they go red. And blue is in the air just now. Light blue is boarded but not taken off yet, departed yet. And I'm going to select one here. And you see that this one was boarded at 13:51 and departed at 14:04. Here you can also adjust or put in new updates. So you can say arrive, then it will automatically come down with the scheduled arrival time, and you can change that. When you're happy, you press save now, and it will update here, boarded, where it says boarded, then departed, and then it will say arrived at whatever time you said it arrived. This can be updated automatically from CETA messages, or it can be updated manually by your ops team, or it can also be updated by the airports, where they will have access to their own screen for updating these flights. To see the sales and finance results for the airline, you press finance. Now you select whether you want sales. If you want sales, you press sales. And here you will see the sales per day for the whole airline and up to today. Seats sold, income, and then how much was passengers, how much was adults, how much was bags, and the total at the end. And at the bottom you see the total for the so far this year. That is the sales per day. If you press show status, you will instead get how many seats were sold per day of flight, and this, as you can see, it at the moment stretches 2 months into the future. We have sales registered, and you can also press details and you get them per day. Each page of a MoonCBook has a manual button down at the bottom, and if you press that, it will bring you to the relevant page of the MoonCBook manual. Here you will see samples and more description of what each button does, and also some links to further manual pages. You will also see a MoonC.mobi button, which brings you to the homepage of the MoonC.mobi. Here you can see all our apps, and if you press one of them, let's see, say MoonCBook, you will now see different ways to get it and different manuals and other links.